Okay, so we say hi to each other. Hello.
Hello.
Please off the mic. Let me do a little bit recapitulations. Okay. So this is the meditation for beginners. We already finished the introductions, and we talk about the benefit of meditations and the conditions regards to self-restraint, the adequacy of the requisites. It's about the, our clothes and livelihood, living in the leisure and quiet place, stop outer causes and businesses, and close to kayana mitata. Then all are the external factors. Then we also finish all the internal factors regards abandoning greed, hatred, sloth and torpor, worry and restlessness, and a doubt. Now we go back to the practice again. So today we are expect to finish regarding meditating by sitting. Now we are okay. So we are talking about there's a different the method of the breathing. Okay. So in the previous lesson, we talked about wind. During or after vigorous practice, okay, that is the breathing situation is like a wind. Okay. Second is the gaps. Gaps is about the depressed and certain situation, and you should meditate after the recovery. Now we go to the breath, qi. Okay. So Anya, can you please read through it lah? Anya, can you please on the mic? Do you on the mic? You haven't on the mic yet. You have, yeah, you on your mic.
Okay. This is the normal breathing, which is hearable and 16 to 18 times for each minute. This is the minimum requirement and the secured speed for breathing. Do you want to continue?
Yes.
There are 4 types in total. Breathing by nose. The basic method of meditating is using nose for breathing with a speed of 16 to 18 times each minute. The difference between qi and si is is not hearable with the normal speed and naturally operated by lung. Controllably observing the breath may fasten it and cause fainting, while slowing it down may cause tightness in the chest. If you notice difficulties in breathing, such as dizziness and so on, adjust your breath for 4 seconds for each in and out. Will make you feel comfortable. Abdominal breathing. Nose is still utilized for breathing, but focus at abdomen. The beginner should not reluctantly control and force the air to the abdomen. What is that? 丹田啊. Generally, after a period of meditation, the breath will automatically flow to the dantian through the diaphragm. At the moment, the body and the mind of the meditator will feel relaxed and comfortable. The breathing is getting slow, long, deep, and thorough gradually. The sufficiency is feeling of our lungs, dantian, spreads to every cell throughout the body. Natural rhythm of breathing is gradually shifted from the lung to the abdomen without controlling it.
Thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Sorry, I forgot. Do you need to highlight the point?
Afterwards.
Yeah, you need, right? Am I right?
Yes, because we don't.
Yeah. The note. Okay, class. So I think you finished. Let's take a look. Okay, basically a class. Okay, if let's say you breathe in the chi, meaning to say it's about 16 times to 18 times per minute. Okay, you can try to count. This is the most secure way, frequency for the breathing. But you can hear the sound. If let's say C is better than the chi, okay, because that's without sound and chi is more natural. Basically, once we talk about the breath, some people they will control the breath unconsciously. Okay, if let's say you control your breath unconsciously, the outcome is you will feel suffocated. For some people, they will control the breath and finally make them difficult to breathe. You see, this is quite common. If let's say, okay, everybody know how to walk, right? But if let's say you go to on the stage for catwalk, everybody see you how to walk, then you might not able to walk normally. It's the same. If without any observation, we can breathe normally. But if let's say by observing yourself, maybe you cannot breathe, you see. Observing our breathing is just like, you see, you're putting your book in your hand. You see, it's so simple, right? But sometimes some people, they will control it, okay? It's just like if you overuse the energy, so you see, the way you hold the book, it looks awkward, okay? But if without, if you over-relax without putting the energy, then the book will drop. See or not? So holding the book is just like observing your breath. If let's say you control your breath, okay, basically you will feel maybe headache, okay, maybe you will feel suffocation, okay, meaning to say that you should stop observing your breath and try to be relaxed in the first place. Okay, but so far I never see people die due to the suffocation of observing the breathing. Hopefully you are not the first and last. Okay, but anyway, the meditative sickness does occur, especially people over observe. Some they will feel migraine, and some they will feel somewhere, especially in the head part or maybe the eye, because once they try to focus, they will use up some energy. And the energy, if you use the energy for too long, so finally, you will notice that after the meditation, you will feel so taxing. If let's say you come to learn the Qigong, it will never happen. The reason is in order to do the Qigong, you have to relax your mind in the alpha state. Meaning to say that the whole process, you are in the relaxing state. But for meditation, especially the meditation involves some concentration, you have to concentrate, meaning to say you have to use the energy. But some people will wrongfully overuse the energy. So you get the point. So if let's say, if you really, you used to control your energy subconsciously, so I will suggest you to try the Qigong, which we call it just relaxing your mind and tune your mind to the alpha state. Once you expert it very well, you come back to observe your breath again, it might be better. Why you are encouraged to go back to the anapanasati? The reason is through emptying the mind, you of course you will get a lot of advantage, like you learn how to relax, and and that and your physical body might be healed effectively. But in order to get to the jhana, well, the emptying mind itself is not enough. But for anapanasati, the method itself is able to bring you to reach fourth jhana. So that's why anapanasati is a very good method. But if let's say your body is so weak or your body are full of the sickness, okay, even though you got some sickness in mentality or physical body, you're still encouraged to do the Qigong for the healing first. Once you get the healing and you feel ready, then anapanasati will make things so easy. Not everybody enjoy the meditation. Some they feel so suffer. You see, when they cross their leg, they start feel here pain, that pain, headache. So many problems. Not everybody enjoy, except you are ready. Okay, So there's a few things to let you know. Okay, second is about the C. Then from the C, we go to abdominal breathing. Okay, basically, the breathing method we mentioned just now all involved is our chest. Okay, chest breathing may trigger, the wandering mind, and also the mind with the thoughtful, and also are more susceptible to angry and greedy. But if, let's say, you are able to practice the abdominal breathing, okay, abdominal breathing, we correlates with the peace and the calm. That's the reason why for Yogaism and the Taoism, they will purposely train the abdominal breathing. But we don't train the abdominal breathing. We just observe the breath. Observe the breath. If once you are able to be mindful, maybe at least half an hour, then the breath will automatically shift from the chest breathing to the abdominal breathing. Well, abdominal breathing is a very crucial point for a meditator. Okay, first, you will feel very healthy. The reason is, okay, 1/3 of the blood have been stored in our liver and it never be released. But once you reach to the stage of the abdominal breathing, all the blood will be released. And our abdomen will play roles at the second heart, meaning to say that you are having two hearts to help you to pump the blood. Okay, at that situation, there will be sufficient oxygen will be pumped in and a lot of carbon dioxide for being pumped up. And then at that state, you will feel really enjoy. Basically, once you reach to the abdominal breathing, you will really enjoy the meditation. And at that time, basically the pain in your leg should be reduced a lot. Will be reduced tremendously. Okay, you will really enjoy once you do the abdominal breathing. For abdominal breathing, sometimes we will call abdominal breathing as a diaphragmatic breathing, since the diaphragm will be involved for it. Okay, so we'll go through two video clips to fully understand the abdominal breathing. Okay, so enjoy the video clip now. Okay.
The primary muscle of respiration is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a thin, dome-shaped layer of muscle and tendon that separates the abdominal cavity from the chest cavity. It gains its shape from its attachments and from the organs that surround it, especially the heart, lungs, and liver. The diaphragm attaches at the costals along the lower rib cage, high in the front at the sternum, and deeply in the back along the spine. The diaphragm also attaches to itself via a central tendon, making the diaphragm one of the unique muscles of the body. The diaphragm uses its central tendon and its attachments as leverage to flatten during inhalation. The expansion of the ribs comes from the resistance of the internal organs to downward movement. As the internal organs are slow to move, the ribs expand to make room for the lungs. While the diaphragm attaches at the bottom of the ribs, its range of motion never reaches that low in the body. As seen from below, we get a sense of the full range of motion of the diaphragm as it would glide over the aorta, the vena cava, the esophagus, and the internal organs. For more information, visit www.3dyoga.com.
Okay, now we go to the second video clip. Let's take a look.
To learn diaphragmatic breathing, lie down on your back and concentrate on expanding your abdomen outward as you breathe in and contracting it inward as you breathe out. Minimize any movement of your chest. Initially, when learning diaphragmatic breathing, you may experience tightness in the solar plexus. However, with practice, this tightness will dissolve and diaphragmatic breathing will become a natural and comfortable way of breathing.
Okay, class, applause to the video clip, the production of the video clip. Thank you for the production, okay? Okay, class, so now let me try to let you experience the diaphragmatic breathing, okay? So basically, class, you just lie down on the floor and then you try to observe your diaphragm and see how it raise up and raise down, okay? Until I call you. So you can start now, class. You just lie down. If you cannot feel it, please put your palms on your abdomen. You can start now. I will call you after 1 to 2 minutes, okay? Yes, class. You can sit up. Okay. Yeah, Anya, you can sit up. Don't sleep. Don't fall asleep. Okay, so class, basically you have experienced the diaphragmatic breathing for about 2 to 3 minutes. If let's say it really happened to you, it will help. It happens the way as you experienced just now. If there's really a diaphragmatic breathing. Anya, do you listen to me? Do you hear me? I thought I think she doesn't hear me. Maybe she doesn't use the earphone. Okay, Jinjong, okay, you're here. Okay, okay. Okay. So you have already experienced, but why we can experience, why we have to lie down in order to experience the diaphragmatic breathing. The reason is once we lie down on the floor will create obstructions. If we want to move our chest, we can't move the chest if we lie on the floor. That's the reason why the diaphragm have to move up and down in order to get us the air supply. That's the reason why you have to lie down on the floor to experience it. Okay. So next, we're going to try we'll go through the other breathing, which means the worm-like breathing and the tortoise-like breathing. Okay, Amanda, can you please read it out?
The fetus in mother's womb does not breathe through his own nose, but through circulation system which is connected with mother. For those who attain jhana, the abdominal breathing would upgrade to porous breathing. Pores turn itself as respiratory organ. At this moment, the pulse becomes uncertain, but still depends on external oxygen for supply. The universal is womb now, and our body is the baby inside the womb. The tortoise is among the animal with the longest lifespan. It will still survive even without the supply of food and air after having been buried for hundreds of years. Those meditative to fourth jhana can do the same. Survive without air and their heartbeat stops. They are different from the corpse since their body is not decayable and the biological structure is still alive.
Yes, please highlight the point in the first place. Okay, we will go through another video clip before the discussions. Okay.
Welcome back. We've all heard the expression, you can't fit a round peg into a square hole. But don't tell that to the man you're about to meet. He's a mystical Frenchman who will attempt to do the truly impossible. Let's go to Mark Thompson in our Guinness studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the yogi Kudu. He has been studying the discipline of yoga for the past 43 years. He stands 6 feet tall and weighs 183 pounds. He will attempt to squeeze his entire frame into this box. It measures 15.7 by 16.9 by 20.9 inches. Let me show you how small that is. This is a 5-gallon water bottle. Take a look. Now, once inside the box, the yogi will be submerged underwater. Guinness judges are going to be timing both how long the yogi will be in the box and underwater for a new Guinness record. You ready? The yogi has requested everyone in our studio be as quiet as possible while he prepares himself. In order to fit his 6-foot, 183-pound body into the box, the yogi needs incredible flexibility and concentration. To prepare himself, the yogi is putting himself into a meditative state called samadhi. And that's a meditative technique that allows him to slow his heartbeat down to 32 beats a minute. The yogi grew up on the French island of Guadeloupe. He speaks very little English. It was there that he learned the samadhi meditations. Right now, he's ready to enter the box. The studio audience here absolutely mesmerized. The flexibility necessary to do this is seemingly impossible to achieve. I remind you, the yogi is 6 feet tall. The box is 20 inches high. If the yogi doesn't slow his heart rate and breathing sufficiently before he enters the box, He could run out of oxygen once the box is sealed. Again, I caution you, do not try this at home. Right now, as the yogi's about to fully enter the box, he's touching his forehead to reopen what he calls the chakra. He told me that this is the moment when he leaves his physical body. He claims to be outside it, above it. Remember, we're seeing this 6-foot man get inside this tiny box of 20 inches. This is truly remarkable. He's almost completely inside. This is a stunning sight. The yogi's in a fetal position, which he has to maintain for the next 6 or 7 minutes. Once he's completely inside, I remind you, as if this weren't enough, the box will be completely submerged in water. His entire frame is now inside. The audience is watching. Even though we're all seeing this, it's almost beyond belief. That's the yogi's son, Wilmeth. He'll be assisting his father, and now he's closing the door to the box. He's the only one that the yogi trusts to seal that box correctly. The Guinness judges have just started the clock as the box is sealed. Our Guinness staff is carefully carrying the yogi over to a tank of water, in which he'll be carefully submerged completely. To help conserve oxygen, the yogi claims his pulse is now 32 beats a minute. They're lowering him now. This is one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed. His head is still tucked in a fetal position, and he is now completely submerged. This is ice that's being added to slow down the yogi's respiration. He says that the cooler the water, the more his pores will close. That allows him to save his energy. The fish you see swimming inside the box are there to illustrate that there is no trick to what you are seeing. The water, the tank, it's all real. This is no illusion. As you can see, the yogi has now been inside the box for 3 minutes and 25 seconds. That's 5 minutes now that the yogi's been in the box. Once again, what you're looking at is absolutely real and incredibly dangerous. The yogi has no hidden oxygen supply. His meditation and concentration are all he's relying on to keep him alive. The yogi's son Wilmeth is the only one who knows how long his father can be in the water. He just has asked for the yogi to be removed now. The yogi's been underwater for almost 5 minutes now, and he's counting about 6 minutes inside of that box. This is unbelievable. Wilmeth is now unlatching the box. I remind you, the yogi is 6 feet tall and 183 pounds. I can't help but think that he'd suffocate or cramp up during this time. He's emerging. There's almost a surreal atmosphere in the studio right now. His left arm is completely out. tells us that at the moment he re-enters his body, there's a moment of shock. He says that's because the conscious mind makes the body aware of his surroundings. Yogi's experiencing that shock that makes him shake. It's a cold sensation of reality. Even knowing what to expect, what I've just seen approaches the impossible. The total time in the box, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. The box is submerged.
Yes, applause to the production of the video clip. Yes, okay. Okay, like Yong Xin, you first. Okay, can you tell me what did you watch just now?
A very tall guy, 6 feet tall, and quite strong also in physical body, went into a box and then seal up without oxygen and put into the water tank, add on top of the ice, and then submerged for like 5 minutes, and then came out alive again.
Yes, a quite good explanation. The
Yeah.
outline is good and also have some details. Okay, Amanda, can you add in some more? Which he missed out?
I think what I see is how flexible and the focus he have to make himself fit into the box and then stay for a few minutes.
Okay, basically, okay, I think what you observe is already enough to describe as a description for the just now. The video clip. Okay, now please we try to go back to our notes. Can you check for me whether the Lama Kudru does is the worm breathing or tortoise-like breathing? Let's take a look to the notes. Okay, can you check for me which one breathing you think he practiced just now? You can put up your hand if you get an answer already. Okay. Okay. Is there anyone work for tortoise-like breathing? Put up your hand. Tortoise-like breathing. Okay, 3 people. Okay, 3 people tortoise-like breathing. Who work for worm-like breathing? Put up your hand. Okay, 2 people. Okay, Yong Xin, you work for both lah. Okay, okay.
Sorry, I work for worm-like.
Worm-like. Okay, so you work for worm-like and also Amanda work for worm-like. Just Ratio and Anya work for the tortoise-like breathing. Okay, well, basically, I think both breathing, have been. You have to. There's a process of the changing of the breathing. In the beginning, basically, I think the people like him should do the abdominal breathing. For the high attainment of the yogi, they are able to have the abdominal breathing in the daily life. Okay, so when you start to go into the box, okay, so the abdominal breathing will start to change to worm-like breathing. Worm-like breathing meaning to say then the pores start opening. Okay, now do you see the notes? The pores start opening. Just now, Yong Xin noticed that they put some ice. But do you really miss out the point that they said that why they put the ice so that the pores should be more will more be closed down. Meaning to say that the cooler is it, it's more conducive for him to continue. And at one point he mentioned how before he go into the box, he tried to touch the chakra, and he said his soul will go up. You see or not? Meaning to say that he prepare his soul to go out, then he go in, all right? Then try to put the eyes so all the pores will be closed down. And just now, the narrator keep on mentioned, please be cautious and don't practice in your house. It's very dangerous. Why? Because the oxygen supply is very little only in the small box. So once the oxygen fully consumed, so meaning to say he must have the capability to stop breathing but still survive. So that from that moment, he shift to the tortoise-like breathing, because tortoise-like breathing is the breathe is without breathing, and yet you still survive. Okay, and according to our text, this is like a fourth jhana in our Buddhism. Basically, in our Buddhism, if you are able to attain the fourth jhana, you will experience stop breathing. So that is a wonderful thing. And just now, do you hear the point? Do you get the point? He said, the yogi will try to reduce the heartbeat to 32 per second, 32 per minute. Meaning to say this is half of the speed from a normal people. Basically, we are 70 something. It is correct ratio. 70 something is just correct. The normal people, meaning to say you try to reduce. So meaning to say once the heartbeat reduce, the metabolism will be reduced, and he must, because of due to lack of oxygen and totally stop breathing, he must try to keep the metabolism as low as possible and yet still survive. See or not? So actually there's some change from womb-like breathing to the tortoise-like breathing. You all get the answer, but partial only, because you will suspect that how come look like womb-like breathing, but also look like a tortoise-like breathing, but actually both have to be taken into consideration. So do you get the point? Not once they try to open the box, okay, and once they put into the box, did you see the fish in the tank? Do you see the fish? They got the fish, you know. So the narrator said, you are able to see the fish to avoid trick. Because people may worry that whether they play tricks or not. But if let's say the water, you put the fish there, they can hardly to play the trick already. Everybody can see, because that's a Guinness record. They can't play any tricks. People will supervise. Strictly. Everything is in the Guinness record, right? Then once they unseal the box, he tried to come up. Okay, so actually he saw, according to him, he said the narrator, according to the narrator, he saw go back. But once he tried to come out, he will feel shake due to the coolness, and also once he just gained back the conscious, he will feel shaky a little bit. So we saw it, he shake a little bit, and start and we feel look like suffering, we look like uncomfortable, because he's come out from the samadhi state to the normal state. Okay, for the person like him, if let's say you meditate is about, maybe even 1/3 of his quality, you have to do the rubbing throughout the whole body. The reason is the rubbing will help you to accommodate the new situation from a very tranquility mind to go back to the normal state. You have to do the rubbing so that you'll be ready for it. And basically, the people like him, if let's say their own absorptions in the meditation, if they, let's say they don't feel that good, the 5 faculty doesn't function normally, preferably they don't drive. So here, after the meditation, somebody can meditate very well, So we discourage them to drive back, because the look, it seems that the organ haven't functioned normally yet, in normal way. So you get the point? Okay. So this is a very good example. Okay, shall I know? Okay, in the beginning, the Yogi Kudru also requests the public try to keep as quiet as possible. Why? Because he is ready to want to meditate go into the samadhi. So the sound will become the disturbance. Okay, but once you are managed, once you successfully go into the samadhi, especially in the first jhana, all 5 faculty will stop functioning. You need to say that you don't hear any sound. Okay, if people cook a coffee, you don't smell it. Why? Because the mind fully absorbed mentally in the nimitta. Okay, we'll talk about it later on, and the 5 faculty will stop functioning. You don't hear anything, even though there's a strong thunder or a strong thunder sound. You don't hear all. Okay. Well, now I want to ask one more question. Is there anyone quite admire, and hopefully one day you can do what the yogi could do? Please put up your hand. You wish one day you can achieve that level. No people want to achieve. You wish.
Not that state lah, but at least get some taste, experience.
But admire, right? No, you should admire it. Good. Okay, applaud for Jing Xing. Very good. Right. Even though it look very extraordinary, even though you might think that gap is very big, but you should start. You must have a wish in the first place. If you have the wish, then one day you may close to it. You don't know what you did in your past life. You don't know. Maybe you are the great meditator in your past life, but now you're born in KL and involve all your time in the occupation and look for all the materialism. Because no people tell you, no people try to wake you up. Now, it's good. I try to wake you up so you realize that besides experience all the joy, from the 5 faculty, get the baby and bring it up. Besides all this, they've got something extraordinary, and everybody can try to experience. That is the thing. Okay. So anyway, you say if you manage to do it, you go back to your house, you call up your whole family, you tell them, today I'm going to perform tortoise light breathing without oxygen.
Break family record.
This record. But of course we joke. But anyway, if one day you manage to you have to let the people around you know. But of course, you have to keep yourself low profile. I think the thing to do, he tried to be high profile just to attract more people to learn yoga. I'm quite sure he has this type of purpose. Because if you're not ready, according to the narration, he practiced the yoga and samadhi for about 43 years. You see. So meaning to say he is quite mature and he is ready himself to expose to the public. Because a lot of people will criticize you, meaning to say he is ready for all the things and he just want to attract people, to understand that the capability to perform all these things. Okay, so please try to rethink for those who don't raise up your hand, rethink for it. You should make a vow for it. That is wonderful. Because there's a 4th jhana, in Buddhism, stop breathing is the 4th jhana. But anyway, Yogaism and Taoism, they run the way opposite from the Buddhism. In Buddhism, once you attain to the 4th jhana, we stop breathing. But for Yogaism and Taoism, they will try to stop the breathing in order to let the mind fully absorb to the jhana. They go opposite way. But anyway, if you are not ready, you can't do this. It's very dangerous. I think maybe the brain cells die after. If let's say if let's say without the supply of oxygen for 1 or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then the brain cells start dying. Well, that is you can't play over it. It's really very serious. Okay, so there must be the body ready. Then you know that. And one thing is very how to say very you might feel very surprised that how come he will just come out from the samadhi exactly the time. Okay, meaning to say that you see he can be endured for 6 minutes. The 6 minutes should be programmed previously, right? Oh, might be the Rama Kurudu, Yogi Kurudu said, okay, 6 minutes, you take me out. He must have this type of planning in the first place, right? Oh, why they don't take him out just 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but 6 minutes? So meaning to say everything have been programmed. Meaning to say Yogi Kurudu able to control the breathing to this state, maybe his his capacity is to this state only, maybe. So he will tell people to bring him up at that state. So of course, all this we'll go through it in the coming lesson, and of course, if you join more Dharma class, more information will be disclosed, especially if you are involved in the meditation. All this is in the meditation field. Okay, so let's take a look. Now we try to go through this. Okay, so the sentence. Okay, Rachel, can you please read the sentence when?
When samadhi goes strong, the breathing turns from partly tortoise-like to fully tortoise-like state. At this moment, the body of meditators himself forms a small universe. The energy within the body circulating and self-supply without depends on external energy for consumption. Anyway, the beginners should not be ambitious and act with undue haste. The upgrade of nose breathing to abdominal breathing is considerably good.
Yes, so class, this is the best advice. Okay, if you are able to do abdominal breathing, that will be considerably good already, and act without, undue haste. Okay, and then you see, somebody goes strong. The breathing turn from partially tortoise-like to the fully tortoise-like. So meaning to say things things progress gradually. Okay, so class, please highlight the point. Okay. Okay, we finish. Okay, so now after the different type of the breathing we understand. Okay, so class, basically why we learn different type of the breathing. The reason is once your meditation goes and goes, progress and deeper, your breath will from coarse, short, okay, turns to become subtle, long. Okay, and then you have to equip yourself with all this knowledge. Okay, and I mean the change of the breath also signifies the change of your breathing. Okay, so and also your mind at the same time. So once you know all this, so one day once the change take place, you won't be surprised. So I think it's very normal on me. As long as the breathing getting longer and also getting longer and more subtle, basically your lifespan will increase. Why? Because according to the Swarodaya, the knowledge of the breathing, okay, according to the Yogaism, they will say that, let's say, okay, maybe Amanda, okay, your lifespan, they count by the number of the breathing. Maybe 3 trillion, okay, is your number of the breathing for a whole life. Okay, 3 trillion. So after the number 3 trillion breathing, you will die. Okay, but if let's say now you are able to make your breath become longer and more subtle, meaning to say that, okay, one long breath, the times may might be 4 or 5 short breathing. So meaning to say that if a 3 trillion, you experience 3 trillion of the long and the subtle, long and slow and subtle breath, of course the lifespan will be expanded. See or not? So basically, if you are able to experience that, your lifespan will get longer. I mean, because it's due to the knowledge of the Swarodaya, how they call it. Okay, class, once we finish this, we go to the grabs your meditation object. Okay, basically, we have already finished the counting, all right? In the first lesson, we learn how to count. Now we go to the long and the short breath. Okay, ratio you again, please try to read through it.
If you are able to do so, then you should give up counting and proceed to the next stage. If you are If you are breathing in a long breath, you know that it is long in breath, or breathing out a long breath, you know that it is a long out breath. Similarly, if you are breathing in a short breath, you know that it is a short in breath, or breathing out a short breath. You know that it is a short out breath. What is long or short here? It is the durations of time. If it takes a long time to breathe, then it is a long breath. And if it takes a short time to breathe, then it's a short breath. Breath normally, and do not try to make the breath long or short. Do it mentally label as long or short. However, if you must use mental labeling, then only label such as in breath, out breath, or breathing, breathing in, breathing out. Only be aware if the breath is long or short, but concentrations must still be on the breath that is touching the nostril or upper lips. Do not follow the breath inside the body or outside of the body. If the meditator follows the breath inside or outside of the body, he will not be able to perfect his concentrations. Therefore, it is better to concentrate like this on the breath, which is touching the nostril, upper lips, or 1 or 2 or 3 hours. However, for those who can concentrate calmly like this and yet no nimitta appears, then they should proceed to the next stage.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay. One people finish. Okay, all finished. Okay. So class, let's take a look. That this is the meaning. Okay, class, remember in our first lesson, okay, we try to get our touching point, and from the touching point, we know the breath in and out, then we count 1 to 10, okay. But I remember not all of you do the counting. Some you just watch the breath in and out, in and out. Okay, basically, if you watch the breath without counting, you are considered long and the short breath. Okay. Okay, if you are doing the long and short breath, basically, okay, you just watch the breath, and sometimes you notice that the breath will take a long time to pass through the touching point. Sometimes it will take shorter time to pass through the touching point. Okay, and don't try to observe the breath. If the breath go out to the body or go into the body, please don't. If you go to observe the breath inside or outside of the body, you can't attain samadhi. So your attention should be always on the touching point. That will be the correct way. Is there anyone doing the long and short breath? Clap your hand without counting. Is there anyone without counting? So Rachel, do you really notice that sometimes the breath take a longer time to pass through the touching point? Sometimes it will be shorter time. Do you notice that? So that is the meaning for the long and the short breath. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, class. Okay, one more questions. Counting. If you compare the counting breath and the long and short breath, which one are higher level? Counting or without counting? Which one are higher level? Yes, that's true. This is a higher level. Okay. Basically, class, if you are in the counting, okay, if you are able to count about half an hour with the good quality of the meditation, you can shift from counting to the without counting, long and the short breath. Okay. Okay. Let's say you do well in the long and the short breath. If let's say sometime once people in the long and short breath, you will experience nimitta. Okay, we'll tell you what is nimitta. But if let's say you still are unable to see your nimitta, you can move to the next step. Let's take a look. Okay, next step is the whole breath. Okay, Yung Sin, please read it out. Read it out.
The meditator should be aware of the whole breath continuously from the beginning to the end. You should not mentally label as beginning, middle, end. But if you must label, then labels such as in breath, out breath, or breathing in, breathing out, only and knowing the whole breath from the beginning to the end, which is touching at one place on the nostril or upper lip, without following it inside the body or outside. If the meditator is able to concentrate in this manner for 1 or 2 hours, then the nimitta may arise. However, whether the nimitta arises or not, you should continue to the next stage. Mental wish. At this stage, you make a mental wish. May my gross breath be calm. Gradually, the breath will become smooth, subtle, and calm by itself. You must not purposely make the breath calm or subtle. If you purposely make the breath calm, then gradually you will gasp for air and become tired. If the breath becomes subtle by itself and the mind is calm on it, most meditators, by the power of meditation, do not find a head, nose, or body, but there exists only the breath and the mind which is meditating on it. At that moment, you cannot find I or he. At that time, there's only the concentrated mind fixed on the breath. If the mind is calm and concentrated on it for an hour, then for that period, isn't the connection with loka, worldly affairs, being cut? It becomes higher kusala, wholesomeness. This kusala becomes rather close to upachara samadhi due to present efforts in concentration, and thus parama and nimitta may arise at this stage.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's highlight the point. Okay, some more. Okay, class, if you're able to complete the long and the short breath, you should go to the whole breath. This is the meaning of whole breath. Class, take a look. If let's say this is a touching point and this is a breath, once the breath go to the touching point, from the very beginning, you have to be mindful, and until to the end of the breath, you have to know. So you see, this is the breath in, out, in, out. You have to be aware. Whole breath meaning to say that from the very beginning, you'll be very you are aware of it at the very beginning until to the end. Okay, so shall I know whole breath level is higher, or long and short breath is higher level? Which one level is higher? Whole breath or long and short breath? Whole breath. Whole breath is this. Long and short breath is this. Which one is somewhat higher level? Yeah, whole breath. That's correct. Okay. Okay. Once you do the whole breath, the nimitta should arise. If it doesn't arise again, you have to do the mental wish. Mental wish meaning to say that before the meditation, you have to make a vow for yourself. You determine that I must meditate well. I hope my nimitta should be arise. Okay. You should do these steps. Okay. So in the mental wish, basically for somebody, they will start to experience the disappearance of the body and the mind. They will notice that the whole body disappeared. Okay, well, basically, for those who first time experience the disappearance of the body, they will get surprised. And they will get shocked. The reason is you never lost your body before. Am I right? No matter how good or bad is a physical body, okay, this is the physical body. Sometimes causes trouble and make you sick, but sometimes we need the body to enjoy the world. But no matter how, we never lose it. But during the meditation, if you go to the upachara samadhi class, upachara samadhi meaning to say is the excess concentration. The excess concentration signifies that the disappearance of the body and the mind, but you just observe your breath only. Your breath and your mind only. That's the disappearance of the physical body. Okay. Well, what does it mean, excess concentration? Okay. So I want to ask a question. How do you know that? How do you tell people that you already reached Erdivihara? Amanda? Well, what does it mean that you have reached Erdivihara? It means what?
Not sure.
Not sure. Okay. Okay. Of course, in order to get the Erdivihara, you will try to do the Google search, right? Okay. So, okay. Finally, okay, you see the gate. You see my building. Okay. Are you consider you have reached Erdivihara by seeing the signboard, by seeing the whole building? Amanda? No. Okay. No. Why you say no? If that's the case, what is the real meaning of you have reached the Erdivihara? Okay. Very funny question. Not funny actually. Maybe you don't really think about that. Ratio, what do you think?
But if it is a physical object, definitely we will see, right? We will see, we will sense, we know.
Yeah. But you haven't, I still consider you haven't reached it yet. The point is the gate. Am I right? Okay, class, if you're outside the gate, you haven't reached yet. You haven't get in yet, right? Even though you see physically, right? But you haven't get it. Okay. But if let's say you just in front of the gate, I can say you near to the Erdivihara, but you haven't really reached it yet. Maybe you haven't stepped in now. Basically, we said that. So class, if you are at the gate of the Erdivihara, you are in the Upachara Samadhi. Once you step in, you just after the gate, you are considered in the first jhana already. So that is the meaning of for the access concentration and the absorption concentration. Yeah, Amanda?
How do I know we are already entered the gate or not? How do we know that?
Oh, how do you know you enter the gate? Because you will see the gate open. Yeah, because the gate open, then you can just pass through. Once the gate open, if the gate doesn't open, how can you go in?
But this is a physical object, right, as I mentioned. But if say you reach the jhana, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, good question. Well, the answer is coming. Okay.
Okay.
The answer is just behind, just coming out. Okay. So I'm telling you now. Okay. Okay. So before we reach this, we'll talk about okay, the nimitta. All right. So Anya, can you please read it out, the nimitta? On the mic, please.
Okay. The nimitta can appear to different people in different ways. It can look like a white thread, a long white light, a star, a cloud, or white cotton wool. It can appear to some as covering the whole face, or like the sun or the moon, or a pearl or ruby. It appears in different people in different ways because it is produced by perception. I don't want to read this well. Even though Anapanasati is only one meditation subject, it can produce various types of nimitta, depending on the individual's perception. The breath may become smoky gray color in the beginning. At the time, if you maintain the mind calmly on the breath, only then will the breath and the smoke color become one, without any difference. When the nimitta is grayish smoke color, it is the parikama nimitta, at the parikama samadhi state. If it become white like a heap of cotton, this is nimitta. This nimitta is called ugaha nimitta. It becomes quite high. If this white ugaha nimitta is stable, the meditator must try to make the mind calm and concentrate on it. At this stage, in trying to do so, you should not pay attention on the color of the nimitta, but pay attention on it just as the nimitta. For example, there is a cup full of water. A pearl is placed in it. Like this example, just sink the mind into the nimitta. Do not investigate. It is not necessary to investigate as anicca, dukkha, anatta. It is not necessary to investigate whether it is hot or cold, hard or soft, and not necessary to pay attention on the color of the nimitta. One needs to try to make the mind calm and concentrate on the nimitta only. If he tries so, the nimitta will change from the white stage to the very brilliant stage, like planet Venus. Such a nimitta is called panibhagya nimitta. The panibhagya nimitta is attained. Try to make the mind calm and concentrate on it. If the mind is calm and concentrate on the nimitta, for 1 or 2 hours, most meditators can easily discern the jhana factors if they reflect on them at that time.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Anya,
Yeah.
were you speaking English during your teaching career? Were you
Yes.
now the way you read quite different with all of them? You have
We, yeah.
got some reading skills because you pause in a certain time and the tune is different, not monotonous.
Yeah.
But not like a newscaster, it's a different way. So like a teaching way. I like an English teacher, how to read and make the class more interesting. You're very good. Oh, I noticed some things. Yes, usually.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's take a look. Please highlight the point in the first place. Yeah, thumb up if you finish. I can see you, huh? Okay, Amanda, okay, huh? Okay. So some more further, huh? Okay, finish class. Okay. Some more. Okay, class. Basically, okay, I think you always heard about people mention that if you do the meditation, just ignore, ignore, and ignore. Okay, well, it is partially correct with me. Okay, it is true that during the meditation, what we do just pay attention to the breath. Okay, but we got so many steps as I mentioned just now. Okay, but during the meditation, there's a lot of things that appear. Okay, fine dresses is one of the stuff. Okay, but basically we just ignore it and it will gone by itself. But now next, what if let's say you see the light? Okay, basically during meditation, for certain people it is so easy for them to see the light. They got two type of lights. One is the stable light, one is unstable light. If the light is unstable, basically we just ignore it. But if let's say the light is stable, it's just like a spotlight in front of you, we call it as nimitta. Okay. So how does the nimitta look like? Let's take a look. This is the nimitta. Okay. For some people, the nimitta will appear like a cotton. For some, it will look like a cloud. For some, it look like a ruby, like a smoke, like a cobwebs, or like a sun. Okay, it's very depends on individual. Well, what you see is depends on your perception, but it doesn't matter. The point is whether the nimitta is getting stronger from the green color, from the green color to the bright white color, and from the bright white to the transparent, uh, 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 and become transparent. And basically, the nimitta, one is try to turning, okay, from grays to the white and to the transparent. You will start to get close to you, and finally, the nimitta will try to integrate with the breath. Meaning to say that at that particular time, you observe the nimitta, you are observing your breath, and you observe your breath at the same time you observe your nimitta. So this is the moment we call it the maturity of the nimitta, and you observe the nimitta at this particular moment only. So meaning to say that if you are able to produce the nimitta in front of you, just don't bother it. As long as the nimitta haven't integrate with the breath, just ignore it. Once the nimitta integrate with the breath, then you observe it at this time only. And basically, once the nimitta appears, we call it as a ugaha nimitta. Okay, but once the nimitta integrate with the breath and become brighter and start to turn to become transparent, we call it as padipaka nimitta. So that's the different things and a few terminology here. Basically, once the integration between the breath and the nimitta, this is a very important point. There's a few stop here. in the first one, the appearance of a nimitta, because once the nimitta appears, it signifies that you are about. You are about to. You are starting the journey, okay, to the jhana, okay. And once the nimitta integrates, okay, meaning to say that now you are further nearest to the first jhana already, and you must be able to. The integration must take longer time, and you must be able stable in this state before you go to the first jhana. Okay, so this is a few terminology. Let's take a look. I want to correct the spelling error, class. So this is a Padipaga nimitta. Please correct it. P-A-T-T-I. Please correct it. No, sorry, P-A-T-I. This one, the N, please change become T. Okay, the N change become T. Okay, this is the same. We call it as the Padipaga nimitta. This is the second stage of the nimitta. We call it as the brilliant stage. Okay, nimitta meaning to say that it's a sign. S-I-G-N, the sign. Okay, this is a P-A-T-I, Padipaga nimitta. So the very beginning is the Ugaha nimitta. So this is the Ugaha nimitta. You see, just like a heap of the cotton. Okay, and some like a grayish smoke. Okay, so this is the very beginning. Okay, once it reaches the Padipaga nimitta, it's getting stronger and become brilliant stage. This is the brilliant stage. So this is the meaning, okay, of for the nimitta. Yes, any questions regards it? Is there anybody see the lights? So far, anybody see the lights? See the nimitta? No, okay, so please work hard for it. Okay, I think maybe meditate. Okay, with the nimitta as a benchmark, it's not common in Mahayana meditation heritage. Okay, whatever meditative skill which is available in Mahayana, they seldom involve nimitta as a benchmark. So this is an experience quite unique for the Theravada, especially in the Myanmar particular school. And everything is stated in the Visuddhimagga and also Abhidhammatasangha. If you really need a reference, you can go through Abhidhammatasangha or Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. Because sometimes you hope that you learn something which is with a strong ground, right? You don't want to learn something without ground or baseless. So I can tell you, this is the references. Okay, so you feel safer, along the journey, because it involves your mental state, okay, so you can go further for it. Okay, if you, of course, I think you never heard about this if you are always in the Mahayana environment. It is correct for ratio and anya. It is correct. You never heard about this type of knowledge, right? The nimitta, right?
What is nimitta in Chinese, Sifu?
Nimitta, 禅相.
禅相.
Never heard about that, right, Anya? Is this correct?
Yes, I have.
You have.
Because I heard it from the Metta Center that we learned.
Sure. Mostly from the Theravada environment, I tell you. Yes. Mahayana, you never heard about that. No. Sometimes maybe they will say that, there must be something wrong already. You see the light. It is not correct. Sometimes they may comment like that. So you must have to expose yourself to more tradition in order to learn, learn things more in a more comprehensive way. So do you get it? Okay, yes. So now just work hard, okay. Even though if finally you work hard, you don't see any nimitta, it doesn't matter. You can go to follow the school without the nimitta, because some tradition they don't use nimitta as a benchmark for the jhana. So class, just now you asked the question, how do you know you have reached the gate? Yes, now I'm telling you, what is your gate? So we call it as a 5 jhana anga factor. Okay, 5 factors are apparent. Okay, so ratio, your turns. Okay, jhana factors are.
Number 1, vitakka, initial applications of the mind. It is the applying of the minds of the object. The anapana Patibhaga nimitta. Vichara, sustained applications of mind, the continuous sustaining of the mind on the Anapana Patibhaga nimitta. Number 3, pati, joy or liking of the object. Anapana Patibhaga nimitta. Number 4, sukha, pleasant feeling or happiness associated experiencing the Anapana Patibhaga nimitta. Number 5, ekagata.
One pointers of mind. Oh, you off your mind already, ratio? You accidentally off your mind in the last sentence. Yeah, please complete it.
One pointers of mind on the Anapana Patibhaga nimitta.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point and do the correction. This is the piti, P-I-T-I, not pati, P-I-T-I. P-I-T-I. The class, I would like to bring your attention that my Pali, the Pali words here is not that accurate, just for your, just for your reference only, because I can't put the proper Pali word by using the words file. Okay. Okay, finish. So class, let's take a look. This is the meaning. Okay. So first, if you experience, okay, how do we know we reach the gate? By discerning the 5 jhana anga factor. If the 5 jhana anga factor is perfectly built up, you have already reached the gate. First is the vitakka. Vitakka meaning to say that once the nimitta appears, you put your mind on the nimitta, that is the vitakka. If you try to sustain, okay, you sustain the application, so we call it as a vichara. And you feel piti with the nimitta, you like the nimitta, you enjoy the nimitta, that's we call piti. Number 4 is the sukha. Sukha is the joy greatest than the piti. So that's a sukha. And finally, you feel ekagata. Your mind totally integrates together with the nimitta. We call it as a one-pointedness or ekagata. The 5 jhana anga factor totally have been built up, so you have reached the gate. Congratulations to Amanda and Rachel. You reached the gate, okay. But before that, you have to experience the access concentration, where you might experience the disappearance of the body. So don't get scared now. But one day you may experience it. Okay, so that is 5 jhana anga factor. Okay, so maybe you will ask, how to check all these things? I think not necessary for you to go through it now already. Okay. Once you keep on meditate and maybe in the advanced meditation class and in some Dharma class, I will mention that particular class, not here, because this is for the meditation for beginners only. So that's the knowledge. I think it's already enough for you to experience. You have to go through. I think it will take quite long, many years in order to experience until to this first jhana. Okay, so the rest of the detail I won't go through it. Okay, so let me check first. Okay, class. I think I wish to stop here. So we still got the 5 kind of the mastery. Okay, can you check for me? Okay, anybody know today is how many lessons? Is the number is we are in what lesson? Number 7 lesson. Okay, so we still got 3 more lessons to finish, meaning to say that we still got 3 more lessons. So the last lesson will be